Hi, I'm currently in Seattle. I'm staying at the Charter Hotel, which is part of the Hilton group. This is my room just behind me. Now, I was going to make a video just talking about the hotel itself, just giving you a tour, but something's happened that's really made me quite furious. So let's head inside my room and I'll tell you all about it. Now, this is my room, number 403, if you're coming to this hotel. I would not recommend this room. This is the key entry system. Let's have a look inside. So we head in the room. It does look like quite a nice room. It's got two queen-size beds, pretty spacious. It's got a great telly. Bathroom's pretty sizable as well. Put the lights on. Oh, that's not the light for the bathroom. Well, I don't know where the light for the bathroom's gone. Here we go. There's the light for the bathroom, so it looks pretty good. But there's a couple of things about this room that I'm really not happy with. In fact, so unhappy that I actually asked for a move, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, the first of them, when I arrived here, it was a few hours ago, it was late afternoon, and the curtains were closed like this, which, you know, looks quite nice, but it's a bit dark. So I thought, well, we'll get the curtains open, get a bit of lovely fresh air in and see the lovely view. And this is the lovely view of the car park, which is right up against the side of this building. So basically, there's no natural sunlight, it's just completely dark. So I assume they want you to keep these shut the whole time, which doesn't really make for a very pleasant stay. So I was fairly unhappy about that to start with, but you know, I probably could have lived with it. But the main thing that I'm really, really unhappy about in this room is behind me here. The air conditioning, it's not working. So it's set, if I have a look at the chart here, it's set to 65. So you can see that it's meant to be running at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. But if we look at the actual temperature, it's 77.8. Now, this aircon has been on, I think, all day, because when I got here, it was on. So it'd been on for a while. And if you know aircon, it does take a little bit of time to get to the desired temperature. But I've been in this hotel now for about 4 hours, and it's still 78 degrees, which is hotter than it is outside. So if you're in this situation, the obvious thing to do is to complain. So I went down, first of all, I phoned down to reception and said, not happy with the room, don't like the curtains, don't like the car park, but most importantly, I don't like the aircon. It's too hot. I need to change rooms. So after a couple of minutes of backwards and forwards, they said, we don't have any more rooms. We don't have anything else of the equivalent standard. Nothing we can do about it, maybe tomorrow. So I stewed on that for a little while and thought, not good enough. So I went down to reception, spoke to the receptionist, different person, and explained the situation. And they said, there's no rooms of this equivalent size with two queen-size beds, but I can give you a king-size room which has one bed. So I went up to have a look at it. It was on the 13th floor, and the room was beautifully cold. Aircon was working fantastically, but it was tiny. It was basically half the size of this room and just not suitable at all. So I said, look, I don't want to downgrade. I want the equivalent. I want what I've paid for. So I'm not happy with it. So I then said, okay, so what can we do about this? And the guy said, well, maybe I could give you some points as a refund. But I asked to speak to the hotel manager. And the hotel manager had gone home 5 or 6 o'clock or something. So they weren't there, and they'll be back at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I said, look, I want some sort of compensation. I want some sort of refund. So the guy initially said, I'll give you some points on the Hilton Honors point system, which is no good to me because it only works in the US. So I said, I don't want points, I want cash. So he then said, okay, you can have a cash refund, which seemed okay. So that's the situation we've got to. Now, if you're in this situation and you need to complain and then you want some sort of compensation, then what I would strongly suggest you do is to document it. So I've done that. So I actually went onto ChatGPT to help me formalise an email. And I've sent that email to the hotel manager because I was given their card with their email address. So I've sent it live. So it's basically whilst this is happening, I'm just trying to pull it up on my phone here. So I will tell you what it says because I got into some detail, basically to record everything that I've done and also to make a point of mentioning the fact that the receptionist said that they'd give me a refund. So it says, "Dear," and I've put the person's name, I won't mention them on this for privacy reasons. "I'm writing to formally record an issue," as this is it on my phone, but this was written by ChatGPT after I went backwards and forwards and provided all the information. "I'm writing to formally record an issue we are currently experiencing with our room this evening, 7th of August, and discussions we have subsequently had with the front desk. Staying at the Chart Hotel for 2 nights and have prepaid over $1,000 for this booking for a 2-night stay, including a $25 nightly charge, which I was told about when I moved in. They gave me a little voucher for money off the food here. I arrived at the hotel an hour ago and found my room extremely warm. The air conditioning was already switched on when I arrived. It indicates that it had been operating for some time. The room temperature was 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And an hour later, which was when I sent this email, it's still 78 degrees Fahrenheit, despite the air conditioning running for over an hour. I've attached a photograph of the thermostat showing the current temperature. So that's another thing, is to record the actual evidence, which I've done, but I don't really need to because it's still at 78 now, so I think it'll still be then at that level tomorrow. I initially called the front desk to report the problem when the room failed to cool, but subsequently went downstairs in person to try to resolve the situation. I asked to move to another room with 2 beds, equivalent to the room I have booked, and was shown an alternative king room, which only had 1 bed, which was not suitable, but it was considerably cooler than this one. I therefore asked for another suitable room to be made available as soon as possible or upgraded to another accommodation with 2 beds. I also asked to speak to the hotel manager, but was informed that the manager's shift had finished and they'd gone home, and I was given your card with your details. As the hotel is unable to provide an equivalent replacement room, I've requested a refund for tonight's accommodation. The front desk representative initially offered me compensation with points. I explained this was not appropriate, and they confirmed that I could have a refund instead in cash. We've also been told that I can move to another room tomorrow. In addition, I also requested an engineer come to the room to fix the air conditioning. However, at the time of writing, which was about an hour later, none had come, and they still haven't come. I haven't got a note here saying that they've been. So I'm sending this email this evening to basically record the issue, the temperature of the room, the steps I've taken to resolve it, and more importantly, the refund agreed by your staff. I'd therefore be grateful if you could confirm tomorrow morning the refund of an extra $25, whether I can move rooms to tomorrow, and whether the hotel proposes any additional compensation in recognition of the considerable inconvenience that I have experienced. So that's the current situation. It's around about 8 o'clock at night now, so I don't think anything else is going to happen tonight. But I just wanted to make this video, bring you up to speed as to what's happening, tell you about the 2 problems. But the main problem is that it is baking hot in here, and I've paid over $500 to stay here at the Hilton. I mean, it's quite a nice room, but it's not very nice when it's red hot. I mean, I'm already feeling a little bit sort of sweaty and sticky just making this video. So it's going to be a pretty uncomfortable night's sleep. Not what I paid for, not what I wanted, but let's see what happens. Let's see how good the Hilton are at dealing with these issues. So I'll see you again when something else has happened tomorrow. So here I am the next morning outside the hotel. A little bit cloudy today. You can see this is a really nice hotel. It's very big. It's actually got a rooftop bar called Fog. Haven't been to that yet because I wasn't really in the mood to go to the rooftop bar. Didn't really want to spend any money at the hotel given the fact that I was so annoyed about the quality of the room. But I do have an update for you. It's now morning. So the first update is that it stayed at a solid 78 degrees all through the night. Now, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, that's quite a pleasant day, isn't it? If you see that on the Weather Channel, you'll think, ooh, what a hot day, better put some sun cream on. And if you live in somewhere where you use centigrade, it's about 26 degrees centigrade. So I think anybody would agree that 26 degrees centigrade isn't really the optimal temperature for spending the evening in a hotel room. If you're in your car, you don't set your temperature to 26 degrees, usually about 17, 18, 19 is quite comfortable. Anyway, I do have some news because, as I said, I sent an email to the hotel complaining about the situation and making sure everything was on record. And at 9:45 this morning, I received a response from a different person who I sent it to, but somebody who is designated as Assistant Front Office Manager. And they have said in this email I sincerely apologise for this situation and the inconvenience you experienced during your stay. I have removed the room charge from your reservation, so that's around $500, so that's quite good. And you will not be charged for the urban destination charge for that night either, which is $25. So that's pretty good. So basically that means I've got the room completely for free, so that's positive. Additionally, I've added your name to our priority move list, and we will move you to a different room with 2 queen beds and a functioning air conditioning unit as soon as one becomes available today. Again, I truly apologise for what's happened and appreciate your patience while we worked to make this right. Please let me know if there's anything we can do in the meantime. So that's good that I didn't have to pay for last night, but on the downside, I've only been moved to a priority list. Now, the problem that we've got is that it's the middle of summer. It's Saturday today, so I came here on Friday and booked in for Friday and Saturday night. How many people are going to vacate their room on Saturday in this hotel? I don't know. So there is a very real possibility that I'm going to have to spend the second night in 78-degree temperature, 26-degree centigrade, if they can't find me an alternative room. So the learning point from this, if you're in this situation, if you find yourself in a similar spot, firstly, go down to the front desk and make a formal complaint. It doesn't matter what the issue is, whether it's small or big. If it's something you're not happy with, if you're paying, $500 a night is a lot of money, so I want to make sure that I'm getting really premium service. If you're not happy with something, go and register that. Make sure that the hotel is aware of your grievance, because if they're not, nothing is going to happen. And then formalise it. As I said earlier, put an email together and put it down in writing, because then you've got something on record, rather than just being your word of mouth and saying, well, I told somebody, and them saying, well, I don't remember that. You've got something on record, they've responded to it, and on the plus side, I've got a refund. So definitely do that if you're coming to a hotel and you're not happy with the service, because this is the big takeaway from this video, is do something about it and something good will come out of it. Don't do anything about it, just complain, and it's just going to be a miserable time. So I'm halfway there. I managed to get last night's refund, but I'm not quite there in terms of enjoying this stay in Seattle. I would much rather have had a better room, a pleasant stay, rather than getting my money back. I mean, it's great that I didn't have to pay, but overall, it's not going to be a great experience if I just have to stay in the same hotel, having a miserable time the whole time. So that's where we are at the moment. I will post another update as soon as something else happens. So I'll see you then. Okay, so the great news is I've got a new room. This is it, 10:05. So let's head inside and see what it's like. Okay, so it's the same setup as before. We've got this really quite nice bathroom. We've got a nice walk-in shower, decent sized counter, and then in here, obviously, toilet, which has got a nice little privacy door on it. And then this is the room. So 2 queen beds, quite nicely done. It's really quite spacious, actually, quite big. So I have to say, this hotel is a nice hotel. Now, in the previous one, I had the car park facing me. Now, this is on the same side, but I'm on the 10th floor versus the 4th floor. So let's see what the view is like up here. Whoa, there's a little bit of sky. So the car park's still there, obviously, but we've actually got to the top of the car park. So I've got a little bit of blue sky in the room, which is actually quite nice, and nobody overlooking us in the other room. Actually had people going to park their cars staring in. So what's the motto of this story? Well, as I said earlier, if you've got a problem, if you're not happy with something, then you need to tell them about it, because the whole reason that I've managed to get this change of room is because I made an issue of it, and I didn't do anything out of order. I wasn't rude to the staff or anything like that. It's not their fault. But I can tell you, it is lovely and cool in here. Let's have a look at the thermostat over here, see what temperature is right now. So if I press this, it's at 70, which is still not as low as I'd like it, but it's certainly lower than 78, and I'll be able to bring that down to 65, which I think is the lowest that you can go to in this hotel. So I'm really happy because I didn't have to pay for last night's accommodation, so that saved me over $500, about $540. And also, when I first came here, they gave me one of these vouchers, which is £25 off the food and beverage in their restaurant, and they've just given me another one with this new key. So I've now got 3 of these, which is £75 off the meal in a restaurant. So I've got basically a free night's accommodation, £75 of compensation to spend at the restaurant, and I've got a nice new room with lovely air conditioning. So hopefully you've enjoyed sharing this story with me. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. If you've got the option, we see that little hype symbol. It's like a little diamondy swooshy thing alongside the thumbs up. What that does is promotes this video on the YouTube algorithm to more people. So if you could hit that, that would be fantastic. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me switching rooms and having a bit of drama here in Seattle. All's well that ends well. As I said, make the point if you've got a problem, tell somebody about it, record it, get something in writing so that you've got a reference point, and hopefully you'll come out like me with an okay solution. It still sort of spoiled my night last night, but all's well that ends well. So thanks for watching this video all the way through to the end, and I'll see you again next time.